All right, that's recording. Quick word from the sponsors. FIFO by Aaron Weston, a hilarious novel about all the dodgy stuff that happens up in the FIFO industry. FIFO number 2 is coming out in August, so keep a lookout for that. Available at Aaron Weston Author on Instagram and Facebook. For the kids, we got Australian mining machines, Australian firefighters, Australian Defence Force machines, mining machines colouring in book, Australian surf lifesavers, Australian paramedics, and Australian police vehicles, all available under Children's Books by Aaron White on Facebook and on Instagram. Oh, no, it's not on Instagram, just the Facebook one. All right, let's get into the show. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Aaron White Show. Today, we have a fantastic guest, Jay Fowler. Jay is a rapper under the name JJM. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
Oh, you're most welcome.
It's nice to be here.
Haha, sweet. Hey, can you please tell me your story, like how and where you grew up, any life-changing events, and how you end up doing what you're doing today?
Yeah, cool. So you just want to kick it. Yeah, so I think I've had a few life-changing events throughout my life. I've thought about it since you've said it. And it's been hard to try and draw it down onto one thing. But my story basically, do you want to hear the story about me as an artist, like how I became an artist, or my personal story throughout life?
Your personal story, which rolls onto your music.
Awesome. Yep. Because I think that's one major life-changing thing for me is discovering my music. So yeah, I was born in New Zealand, in Christchurch. And I just have to take one ear off here because it's a bit weird with the headphones on. Yeah, born in New Zealand. And my parents weren't together, but I seen my dad a lot. But when I was about 5, I moved to the Cook Islands in Rarotonga. So me and mum lived there for about a year. And that was pretty cool. Bit of a different lifestyle there. Learned a lot of things, and moved on. After that, we moved straight to Australia. So I think the plan was to move back to New Zealand. So we jumped on the plane straight to Australia, and yeah, ended up here, and I was 7 years old. So at that age, I was kind of just kicking around through school because I'd been to a couple of schools until I got to grade 2 when I was here. So from there I moved around schools a few places and stuff like that. Yeah, met a lot of interesting people, and I think that was probably one thing that was cool for my life. I got to meet a lot of people and see a lot of different personalities, and that probably shaped me in a way to be an open person. I think that might be one of the reasons why I'm such an open person, apart from the genetics. But that will be one step into obviously becoming an artist as a rapper. So basically through school, I would meet a lot of people and stuff. Went to probably five different schools or something. But I settled down in the same area that I'm living now, which is called the Redlands in Queensland, Brisbane. And yeah, basically I met a few friends and stuff, started like hanging out with everybody and settling down a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of crazy trying to pull it all together, eh? And then I moved again when I was about 15 or something to Perth, and that's where my dad lived. So I moved there to live with my dad, and that was really cool. It was a great time. You know, got to hang out with like my uncle, who's actually the one that connected this one here, Uncle Josh Fowler. So yeah, basically that was an awesome time. Moved to back to Brisbane after that, after a year and a half. And then after that, I settled down again and then moved to New Zealand by myself to live with my uncle and auntie and stuff. So I was smoking weed at that time and stuff. So um, what happened is I got kicked out. I was logged onto his computer buying weed, and then yeah, he got me in trouble, and he's like, "Mate, you can't live here," because he thought I was getting it delivered to his house. So it was a bit of a miscommunication thing, but it was a big blow up, big deal. I moved to my brother's house, and then shortly got a flight back to Brisbane. So that's when I finally settled down properly, because I've been here ever since. So I kind of would always listen to music all the time. Always do a lot of things. I was open to do everything. But what happened was I would get quite like worried in my mind about the future when I was young for some reason. And I would think, what am I going to do? And what am I meant to do? Because a lot of my friends would all be like very talented at a lot of things, and I would always join in and everything. But I could see that they were, apart from all the practice and everything, they were gifted in some way to do certain things. Obviously, everyone's not limited to one thing. You can have unlimited things, but I just wasn't feeling the passion for like BMX for say. I would ride a lot of BMX with my mates and stuff. And yeah, what happened is I was hanging out with some friends, and one of them used to freestyle all the time and kick off rhymes and stuff, and we'd get really hype about it. And after a while I think he was just getting too bored of doing it by himself. He started trying to convince everyone else to join in, and I wasn't really keen at the start because I had no idea what I was doing. It all comes straight off the dome. You don't like off the top of your head, and you don't really think about what you're doing. So I was real scared about it, but they convinced me to jump in, and because I was just cool with it, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to do it. And then I was really bad, but for some reason I had that passion. And then that's when I just realized in my head, this is what I've been waiting for. I was like, even though I was bad at it, I loved it. So pretty much my life changed after that, because I can remember going home with my mate back to his house, and I said to him, because he was joining in with us and he was trying to start, learning how to freestyle. So basically when we went back, I was like, we need to watch videos, we need to put a lot of beats on, we need to do this like hard. And then yeah, we were real keen together. So it just kept kicking off, watching every single YouTube video we could find, just like digging really deep into all the hip hop culture and everything, because I was already listening to a lot of, or influenced by a lot of Biggie Smalls, Tupac, and that all came from my dad. When I was living with him, he gave me a lot of good music taste. Before that, I think I was listening to the Veronicas. I think they were one of my favorite bands when I was just living with my mum and stuff. So that was a big life-changing thing. And then I was probably doing it for about 2 years before I met my partner that I'm with now. And because I still haven't figured it out, but because there's a lot of what would you call it, openness and creativity going on. I don't know what you call it with creative people, but I've seen it as a bit of a trend. But the high emotions that help you create the art, when you crash, those high emotions come through again in a negative way, and that's not real good. So dealing with that, I didn't really recognize it or even understand that it was a thing. But when I got with my girlfriend that I'm with now, she was like, hey, like, are you sure you want to be reacting like this to everything? And I'm like, well, I never really thought about it. I just thought, well, I was angry and that's just what it is. Um, and yeah, that stuff just happens. But once I really thought about it, I started digging deep into a lot of psychology. Um, Without even realizing that changed my life crazy because I was digging deep within me now to find all these all these things that I didn't realize. Digging back through my past a lot, trying to find a lot of things that have happened and that led me to have the kind of mind state that I have, and um, basically just the way that I approach life, and that everyone approaches life. That's for a reason, and it's partly genetic. It's partly the way you're raised and things that happened. So yeah, like I think, oh, it's getting a bit cold out here. I don't know if you can notice in my voice. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Keep going.
But yeah, I was uh I was studying a lot of Jordan Peterson, his like 12 rules to life. That was another life changer again because I could put a lot of the psychology stuff into my music. So it was so interesting to me to learn. Um, and there's just so many reasons for me to learn about it. So it was just something I was so interested in. And that's definitely another passion that I've picked up. Um, Psychology, all that kind of stuff, just learning about brain chemicals and all that kind of stuff. I started doing a little bit of meditation. So sometimes I like practice meditation, try and get the mind clear of all the trash, so that you can focus on all the good stuff. So um all of that stuff, well, those two things that I kind of mentioned to you there led me to now. And like right about now, the time that we're talking now is right about the time that things I think are starting to pick up quite a bit. I've been publicly at the music for 5 years now. So going hard, got a lot of music, and I've never been doing it for uh to get attention um online, or to blow up, as some people would say, or to make money or anything. I do have a definite dream that one day I can be financially stable uh, with my music without having to work, so I can have more time to do all the things that I need to do. Like the weekend isn't really enough time to catch up with your family and see all your friends and stuff. So I think it's um I think it's something that I'm aiming for. But in the beginning, I I really just did it because I just wanted to like I just enjoyed the feeling that it gives me, particularly freestyling, writing songs, seeing the end result, watching videos that people take of you randomly. Like that stuff is crazy. So all in all, um I I realized that it the psychology and the music comes together when it comes to like writing to be healthy. You write down everything that happens. Um, you write down like, your dreams. You write down everything, and helps you become a more stable person in the long run. And yeah, I think I think it all comes together pretty well. Um, and yeah, so right now, since I'm getting back on the music a lot more, um, because I've stopped focusing so much on myself, because I feel like I've got to that progression where um, I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with where I am in life, and it's a really good feeling to finally be here. Um, through so many weird different times. Just kind of being unstable and not recognizing it. Yeah, right now it feels really good. So now I've been focusing more on the music and backing up on the uh self working on myself kind of thing. And I've got back into the music and I'm giving it a lot more than I think I've ever had before. Energy wise, like I do 12-hour days most days. Monday to Thursday I do 12 hours, 6 till 6 or 5 till 5. And I just don't run out of energy. Like it's just crazy. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening. Like I just went on, all right, here's another little life-changing thing, and this is for the future. I think this is something that's done me real good in my music. I always wanted to go out locally and just meet everyone that's kind of on Instagram, Brisbane music people, Brisbane film people, all these kind of people. It's just I'm always a outgoing. I want to meet people. I want to be engaging socially. So I'm always that person. And I started seeing things pop up that I can go to, and I was like, wow, finally, like the stuff's happening. So after a while, nobody was saying they would come with me. So everyone was busy. And I just realized I couldn't really wait for other people. So I went by myself. It was like I bought tickets for like a week. And you would go every day in the afternoon, and you just meet people, people perform, and yeah, art, all this different kind of stuff, art, music, fashion. I went down by myself, met some people, like got myself fitted in. And the first person that I happened to be talking to when I walked in there was, hey, mind if I sit next to you? I didn't know at the time or until maybe a few weeks later, but that guy was the host of the Past the Orcs 4ZZZ radio station. So his name's Lilo. Shout out to that guy. He's the man. And K-May as well. I got introduced to her. They're both the hosts. So I didn't realize, and I didn't really think much of it, but yeah, I made a few connections and stuff. I met one of a lot of local people that are just I've been following on Instagram for a while and stuff. So I thought it was cool. And then I went to this Jungle Love festival with my mum and my girlfriend, and we were hanging out, doing our thing. That thing went for like a few days, and you just kind of camped out. It was like a hippie festival. So I didn't know that those people that I met were going to be there, but they happened to be there. Just as we were pulling up in the little camper van, there's Lilo standing there. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, hey man, how you doing? And by the end of it, we were leaving, and I went to go put the rubbish in the bin, and the rubbish bin near our camper van was all full. So I walked it over. I didn't want to leave it there. So I walked it over to the bin that was like all the way around the corner near the food court place. And I bloody seen Lilo there getting some food right as I was about to leave. So I said, hey man, how you going? Blah, blah. And then he was like, I'll get you on the radio station sometime. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, sorry for cursing. Hell yeah. Send me the details, like, and I'll be there. And that just happened the other day because I booked it quite a lot in advance. So I think that was like last week or the week before. And then from there, K-May the other host, she heard me say that I hadn't had a gig yet. So she's hosting this place in the valley in Brisbane called Ivory Tusk. It's like a little bar. And it has a little thing that it does on Thursdays. So I haven't been there yet, but I'm gonna go to check it out. But she's invited me to go and do a show. So I think it's like 20 minutes or something of music. So I've definitely got that. I said yeah. And I've tried to convince my mate to come. That's on all my songs and stuff. He's a bit shy, but hopefully it'll pull through. Either way, I'll be up there. And yeah, so and now the ball's rolling. Like, I've done a podcast before. You probably can't tell because I'm quite shaky right now. I'm real cold. But done a podcast before and I thought that was awesome. I was like, whoa, podcast, this is sick. And then now obviously this has happened and you're all the way in Perth. So I feel like, what the hell is going on right now? This guy's talking to me about my music and stuff. Yeah, so and then I'm literally, as soon as this finishes, I just finished work. Now we're doing this. As soon as this finishes, I've got another podcast to do. Got to go somewhere and do another podcast. So everything's happening, trying to line it all up. And it's actually, there's so much stuff happening that I can't do my 12-hour shifts anymore. I got to fit it in the week. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I don't know if it's going to die down or whatever happens. I'm happy. And I'm just creating a lot all the time. So that's where I'm at now. I hope you have some more questions because I ran that one through pretty quick.
That's sweet. Like I was saying before, I was actually, when I went to look you up, I was actually listening to a different rapper. So I thought I'd done my homework, but it ends up I was listening to somebody else. So I don't actually know what your music's about. Can you tell me what you rap about now? And also, because you've changed your whole mindset recently, I want to know what you used to rap about, if that's changed.
Oh, yeah.
What you're rapping about now, and if your past stuff was different. Tell me about that.
Definitely, man. Oh, that's a great question, especially for right now.
Do you rap about what you do in your life or past events, or like what words and stuff, themes do you rap about?
So I used to rap about a lot of like probably just criminal activity and stuff, because first of all, that's what I was hearing in the music. So that's what I was getting influenced by. And I was just kind of copying whatever I was hearing, kind of stuff, trying to use that to rap myself. But and also I wasn't really the best kid. I was like a bit of a troublemaker. I was always getting in fights. Like just hothead, and that's another reason that I was like, thing I realized when I was starting to work on myself. So as I was working on myself, it turned into, I'm constantly still trying to find positive things to push out. For example, the song that you clicked on when you found my profile there, that's called Bright. And that's from an EP called EP Phone Home. So it's as a joke for ET Phone Home, because it's like supposed to be out of this world kind of thing. And like, and like, I feel like an alien kind of thing. So that's a perfect thing to listen to if you want to hear the progress of where it went. It won't show you in the way I was sounding and stuff, but the meaning in that EP is that I started, so the first song is Fuck Love. So I was heartbroken, and I was not in a relationship, so I could, do whatever I want, and no one could tell me, hey, you shouldn't be doing this and that, blah blah blah. So I was out hanging with my mates, all hours, just doing whatever the hell. So the first song's Fuck Love. The second song's Cash from the Gap. So gapping, if you don't know, is a metaphor for running. So that was we're getting cash and we're gapping it. So Cash from the Gap is basically about the bad things, the bad stage I went through when I was just like hanging out with the wrong people and not getting up to any good, you know. And then after that is a song called Underwater. Sorry.
You keep going.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, man?
Oh, I just wanted you to elaborate on that. Like, were you mugging people, or were you just?
Oh no, so
Or...
um I would never I definitely have pretty strong morals where like I was happy to do anything because I was like didn't really care, but what I did care about is I would never want to hurt anyone that hasn't just punched me in the face or anything. So I would never hurt anyone, never steal from somebody's house. Like I would never break into somebody's house. That was something that some people did, and I thought not going to do that. You know, because as much as I was an idiot growing up for a bit, I always had a really good mum to come home to. So I'll go home to my mum, and I always have to remember that everything that happens eventually is going to lead its way to my dad through some like I have to tell him everything because I'm an honest person. Like, so I'm trying to make my dad proud from being like separated, and then I'm trying to. I'm always living up to my mum's expectations because she's like, you know, I always go home and tell her everything, and she would give me advice, and I would listen. She was never over the top with it, so there was no reason for me to not tell her anything. She'd never kind of get me in trouble for stupid stuff or try and be controlling about it. So yeah, I was basically just kind of I would break into the school, pretty much like steal stuff from shops. Um, at one point, this is when it was pretty bad. When I realized that I was starting to not care too much, where me and my mates went out and it's kind of just the funny thing. It didn't matter too much because I think everyone got their stuff back, but there was a little kind of big bushland and heaps of houses around it. And we took heaps of stuff from people's backyards around and brought it all to the middle and made a big hut. And there was like a little kindergarten there. So we took a whole couch, like gazebos, all this stuff. And we built this massive thing. We like camped there for like every weekend until the police came and put a note on the thing and said, probably thought we're a homeless person or something, and said, you got to move out of here. So we just left it. But pretty much the whole time after, me and my mate were like that's funny as shit. But these people, like, if you add up everything, that's probably a lot of money that people are now missing. And I don't know if they can like claim it. I didn't think about it back then if they could claim it on insurance or anything like that. I didn't really care. But yeah, I'll just do stupid stuff like that, for example. But like what I said before, if I'm sound like I'm contradicting myself, I would never break into somebody's house. So like all that stuff was from the backyard and stuff. But I would never break into anyone's house or anywhere that somebody is or anything like that. Break into the farm down like by, you know, a few suburbs down there. There's like a farm and there's like a little shed there with some fruit and shit. So broke into there a few times, but you know, nothing too serious. I wasn't really that bad of a kid, but Cash from the Gap is kind of an expression of exactly so people understand exactly what I mean. And if you go through and listen to the song, that song, it'll be like, there's the man in the gap in the back and got the stack of the cash, all this kind of stuff. So the whole and that whole EP was kind of metaphorically describing what I just went through. So it was like fuck love, just got hurt, and then Cash from the Gap started just like hanging out with the wrong people and just getting out, doing bad things and stuff. But I was hanging out with people that were like mugging people and stuff. And once they started going, "Oh, look at my new shoes," I just took them from somebody. And I was like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing?" I was like I was always that guy. I was like, "You're an idiot." Like, especially if like multiple people are beating somebody up. Like, I can't bring myself. I've been beat up by multiple people. Like, I've been in a lot of situations where there's a lot of people versus me, and that's the only situations that I've ever really been in, because I don't ride with a lot of people, and we don't like. I don't really have a lot of mates that are like, that's my crew. I have like a few mates here and there, and I might be hanging out with a few people, but I only know like two, 3 people or something properly. Um, so my circle is quite small and diverse. Um, so when it came to all things happening, I could always just walk away, and no one would be like, "Where are you at? Oh, come out!" Like, no one's gonna harass me, and because at the end of the day, if people were like annoying me too much, I'm gonna be like, "Fuck off," and I'll probably get real angry. So it was like pretty easy for me just to walk away. And plus, when I went home, I can just be like, "They're doing stupid shit," and mom will be like, "Oh yeah, sweet as." And then I'll message some people, hang out with someone else or whatever. Like, I'm all good. Um, but yeah, all that stuff started happening, and that's when I started stepping back a little bit more, um, and not really hanging out with those type of people and stuff. Um, and then there was the underwater part where all the things that you did do, um, or like, there's some things that I'm probably not going to like mention that like have happened and stuff like that. So I won't go too deep into like some things. Um, but just for the sake, because it's just not really in my comfort zone. But when some things happen that are like real bad, then that's what the underwater is the metaphor for. So deep under the water is like, you can listen to the song, you can probably figure out the last one's like not as much of a metaphor, but um it kind of it's just the consequences of things that's happening. You're feeling like you're deep underwater and you're drowning, kind of like karma, all this stuff that you realize when you realize. For example, when I got with my girlfriend, and I explained to you before, and I realized like who I was and what I was doing, like how angry and unleashed I was all the time. um it's kind of like, it kind of hurts. It's like, and it puts you in a state where you're like, hang on, like, far out, I need to sort myself out, so that's underwater. But once you actually go through that stage of being underwater for so long, and still trying to stay afloat, even if you can metaphorically drown a few times, but like, just get back up and just do your best to become a better person. And then the next song is Bright. So it's a 4-song EP, and Bright is just about um a quote. It's actually inspired by a quote from Tupac. If you can make it through the night, there's a brighter day. So I've got that tattooed right here. So um that was my first tattoo I got when I was 17. Um so yeah, it was like just the perfect kind of EP to describe my life, and kind of, well, not my whole life, but just the thing that I was feeling. The thing I wanted to get across was that this is what kind of life is. Life is, you go through something, and then you react some way. You're conscious of most of the things, but you might subconsciously go somewhere, and then you come out after you've dealt with it all. You come out bright. Um, so yeah, sorry for the segue. I'm really bad at the segues, but the music kind of changed from being more Aussie. That was a massive. Was that a segue, or did you ask me that question?
We're literally run out of time anyway. So, so that's all good.
Nice.
That was cool. Hey,
Yeah, no.
where can people find your music and support you and stuff?
Yeah, so you can find me on first of all Instagram, JJM underscore SVN. Stands for seven. So if you find me there, there's a link tree. It can take you all the places you want to go in my bio. But if you don't want to go there, then you can find me on Spotify, SoundCloud, any streaming services. I've got only like a couple of videos on YouTube on my profile, but there's all of my Spotify songs and stuff are all on like another page that uploads through my distributor. But yeah, there's a whole nother catalog on SoundCloud. So whole lots of different music. Can find me in those places.
Ah, sweet. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Did you have fun?
Yeah, man, had a great time, buddy. I thought I wouldn't have enough to talk about for the show, but classic old me, I always have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it goes quick the time as well. Well, yeah, well, that's a
Yeah.
wrap. I'd like to thank Jay again for coming on the show, and I'd like to thank you, the listener, for listening. Please tell a friend about the podcast and have a fantastic day. All right, bye.